what Mount Sinai teaches us is that physical and spiritual are really one because God is one. 3,337 years ago, the greatest event in human history occurred on top of a mountain. We're going to that mountain, Mount Sinai, to figure out what actually happened.
Happy Hanukkah.
I exist through the fire, through the hell. I believe, I'm the son of Israel.
Mount Sinai is when the Jews received the Torah from God. The issue is, and a very big issue at that, is that we know for a fact that our father Abraham, his son Isaac, his son Jacob, all learnt and kept the commandments of the Torah. We know that Jacob used to put on phylacteries to fill in. We know Abraham kept all the different commandments, including Passover, before the exodus of Egypt and before the giving of the Torah. We know that there was even a yeshiva, a school to learn Torah, before the giving of the Torah, run by Shem and Aver. And even in the exile in Egypt, the tribe of Levi constantly studied the Torah, which begs the question, what exactly happened on top of that mountain?
What exactly happened on top of that mountain? The question has been begged.
So we had a shocking experience at Mount Sinai. Went over there, saw some dirt, some mud, a mountain, climbed the mountain, unfortunately. That was about all. Then we went to Maimonides synagogue to make a celebration in Cairo, to make a celebration for the finishing of the book of Maimonides. So we're going to need to figure out what happened at Mount Sinai, maybe from a different source. The Torah itself gives us many hints to tell us exactly what happened at the giving of the Torah. And it was more than just the giving of the Torah, of course. It was the giving of the power of God himself. Starting with the holiest word in the Bible is the word Anochi, the first word of the Ten Commandments, which means I, which is going on the essence of God, not just the name of God, but the essence of God himself. This word, the holiest word in the Bible, which stands for Ananavshi Ksavzi Havisid, I have given myself over in the Torah, is written in Egyptian, one of the only words in the Bible that is not written in the holy tongue in ancient Hebrew. It seems very strange that the holiest word in the Torah would not be the holy tongue. In the Ten Commandments itself, something very interesting is that the first five are, of course, very holy, high commandments of believing in one God, which includes many categories of how God is only existence and all that. But the last five are some of the most basic things in human knowledge that should be self-understood, that seemingly you don't need a God to tell you, especially not to come down on the holiest moment and to tell you this laws, like do not kidnap, do not steal, and so on and so forth, honor your parents. The example given of what happened at Mount Sinai in Jewish books is of two countries, two neighboring countries with a very strong law and rule and border that no one is able to cross into the other country, and that there is no mingling and no connection between one country and the other until the day comes, for whatever reason, that the king takes away the decree and the two countries could join. This, it says, is exactly what happened at Mount Sinai. Before Mount Sinai, there was a rule that spirituality and physicality were two separate worlds, two separate countries, and there was no joining of the two. So yes, even though the forefathers kept the commandments and learned the Torah, but there was no physical component. It was fully spiritual. They were causing waves and revolutions in the heavens, but there was no effect on earth. The physical did not become holy. God says on Mount Sinai, I'm going to come down into the world and give you the power that life itself should become godly. This is the reason that Anochi is in Aramaic, and that the commandments are seemingly regular, day-to-day ideals. Because the whole point of the Ten Commandments was not to cause a revolution in heaven, it was to cause a revolution on earth. And that God should be prevalent and present in day-to-day life, in things that aren't just synagogue and holy and prayer, but in life and in work and in regular activities. Because if God is one, then God must be present in everything, and in us especially. So what happened on Mount Sinai was that God gave us the ability that our physical day-to-day should be godly. Our brains could become godly brains. Our physical objects, for example, phylacteries, once you put on tefillin, they are holy, and they are physically holy, and they cannot be thrown out. In other words, the holiness of God permeates into the world, and what Mount Sinai teaches us is that physical and spiritual are really one because God is one, and if God is one, then everything is one. We want Mashiach now.